Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Crypto and Stocks TA live stream. Today is October 4th, 2021. It's about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. And we're going to be going over crypto and stocks for about an hour today. If anybody has any requests, go ahead and type it in the chat box. For ticker requests, we're going to go ahead and start off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin USD. Bitcoin USD. If you're wondering the technical and fundamental reasons of why did we rally over the past 4 or 5 days, I will show you. So technical reasons first. Technical reasons first. Remember, we found our support on the daily chart right now at 40,000. I've been calling this 40,000 support for over a week now on the stream and in my Discord. So, and then you can finally see it on the daily chart. Another reason is we broke through the trend line. That's important. When that happens, you might get some follow through, and we did get some little bit of bull volume follow through, but enough to push the price up. Also, this looks like a little bit of shorts getting liquidated and bulls jumping on to enjoy the nice rally ride up. So where are we now? Okay, so our resistance is $50,000 on Bitcoin. Resistance. If we're talking short term, if we just close in these two candles right here, you see these three candles, the consolidation, attempted sell off, but a rally today. So if we put 50,000 up here as our resistance, and we could put 46, maybe 47,000 as a downside support, now you just play off these two levels. But keep in mind though, with the recent volatility in the stock market, might be seems to be some inverse correlation, so we want to watch out for that. Let's not get too excited though, because there's a bunch of resistance on the left side on the price of Bitcoin. So you see here, everything in this yellow box is a resistance zone. So anything from 50,000 to 60,000, 65,000 is resistance. Now keep in mind, I'm on the daily chart. It's interesting that we did break out here. So let's play through a couple of scenarios. Okay, if we have first the bearish scenario, okay, just because we had a nice rally. Bearish scenario is we did have a daily trend change. This is what I was talking about on my Discord, right? This is a lower low, lower high pattern, downtrend. And I said last week we might establish a higher low, which is this blue circle right here. And then what's the next thing? Possibly a higher high, and that's what happened. More likely. Also, we had bullish news. Okay, we'll pause here from the charts. The other reason why we rallied is because we have to pay attention to the stock market, because Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, in two separate sessions, in the his interview and the Congress session, he flat out said USA will not be banning Bitcoin or crypto on Thursday and Friday. So fundamentally, that's the reason we had this rally. Fundamentally. Also, there's a technical setup. It was actually beautiful. It happened all at the same time. So psychologically, we can look inside, okay? And why did the price start consolidating like this? I'm talking about the blue right here. Why did it start consolidating? We had the sell-off. We had the China sell-off, right? The China banned Bitcoin transactions. But then starting about last Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, when Jerome Powell said, the first time he said it is that the Federal Reserve is thinking about the central bank digital currency, CBDC. But he said it's going to take all of Washington, D.C. to agree to that, and for that to actually happen. But then the next 2 days later, he was asked by Congress under oath, and he said, we're not going to ban Bitcoin and we're not going to ban crypto. So that's very good for crypto. Okay. You have to understand that China banned crypto transactions and mining, right, for the past couple months since May. That's why we had this massive sell off in May over here on the left side. Let me go to daily. We had the massive sell off right here in the middle. This is China miner ban and Dogecoin crashing. This right here is China transaction ban right here. And then USA says we're not banning crypto, then boom, we're up. And the technical setup was there. All right. So this is a great example of where the fundamentals are affecting the technicals and vice versa. Okay. But in this particular case, the fundamentals were greater than the technical chart setup. So you kind of have to keep one ear open to the news, not necessarily people's, talking heads opinions, but the factual news. So for me, I really like to listen to, or not like to, but I need to listen to what the Federal Reserve says, the institution, SEC, and the White House in America. Basically, government institutions. It doesn't get any more legitimate than that. Okay, so now what's going on? We're just consolidating. We're stuck here. Bulls trying to get hyped right here, but a little bit of an issue in terms of a little bit of a megaphone pattern. I like to call it megaphone pattern. And it's essentially a consolidation. Right? Just barely making higher lows. So it's just kind of in a baby uptrend, just baby, right? So people might be wondering, okay, well, what's going to happen today? What's going to happen tomorrow? We have to zoom in and use some of our indicators for some clues. First thing though, before we zoom in, okay, we zoom out first. One thing to note, I was saying this on the last stream, is we have our September monthly close on this candle right here. This is September. Um, this candle, this red candle to the right. And then October, we start a little bit of bullish move, a little bit of a hedge action, a little bit of fundamental hype. That's good. Okay, zoom into our weekly. And I know some analysts out there are saying that yes, we might hit 65,000 by end of this month or next month, and it is possible. We just need a lot of bulls to come in and buy. We need more bull volume. If you look at last year, we had significantly more bull volume here, here, and here. Look at the volume here. It's much, much less. Okay, ever since the Dogecoin crash, for me, the feel in America, ever since the Dogecoin crash, crypto kind of lost hype. Okay, crypto kind of lost hype. We might be getting it back. We got it back a little bit here in July, and then when we crashed in because of El Salvador news sell off and China transaction ban, we lost a little bit of hype. But the hype is starting to build a little bit again because this is the first time that Federal Reserve actually said some committed remarks about Bitcoin and crypto, stable coins in particular, the CBDC coin. So it is possible if you really look at it from two scenarios. We're talking long term right now. If we establish a higher low, if our higher low is 40,000, then long term, 3 months from now, it is possible we could retest 65,000. How long did it take to get this move? July to September, so 3 months. So 3 months to the end of the year, it's possible we might hit 65,000. If bulls keep buying Bitcoin and there's no fundamental news disaster in the next 3 months. Okay, the inverse scenario to that, I just gave the long-term bullish scenario. The longer-term bearish scenario is this whole yellow box, the blue box, is resistance. We are right at the resistance zone. It's kind of hard to see. Right? Basically, if we do not break above 52,000 or 53,000 and hold above 53,000, if we don't break this blue line and hold above it, it could become a double top reversal pattern down. and bring us back all the way down to 40,000 or 30,000. You see that? You could just double top here and get messed up. You could create a head and shoulders here. You could do that, or you could just run out of power. All right. So you want to just keep an eye out for that. Let's not get too super hyped up about anything, or not. We don't want to get too hyped up or too afraid in the market. It's just let the price tell me what's going to happen, the truth. So what do I mean by that? On the daily, when I see the support, okay, support, and then this trend line's broken, okay, that's enough for some people to just buy right there. And then you get the fundamental news and you're thinking, okay, really going to buy now. And then boom, somebody made their easy almost 20% from the breakout spot with a 5% stop loss, 6% stop loss. And they're in the money right now. Some swing traders sold here because they hit the resistance zone and then they're disciplined. They just take their profit. They don't care what happens in the next couple of days. Some people are like that. Some people might have bought here and started hodling again, right? Because of that news. And they're already up almost 20%. Right? That's a 2-to-1 trade. Okay, so I was saying to people on the stream last time is the scenario that there's two scenarios that can happen is when we were looking at this consolidation right here, I was saying we're consolidating. This is a BART pattern. This is a dirty upside down head and shoulders, triple bottom support, whatever you want to call it, whatever makes sense to you in your mind. And the price was stuck right here on the last stream. So I said, either two things are going to happen. We're going to break out and retest 48,000, right? You can measure this box, which we did. It was 7 to 14% up, and we exactly almost hit that. Right? We hit the 7%, and we're up a little more than from that. So now we're stuck at this resistance zone. You just look left. Okay, it's the El Salvador news sell-off resistance zone right here. I want to watch for this. It's going to happen. Okay. Then we look at some of our indicators to just check, okay, what kind of momentum do we got going on here? Yes, we had a little bit of 1 minute, 5 minute pop this morning. Some traders and investors were hedging what happened in the stock market. Some insanity happened in the stock market today. We'll get to that because it's important. But you can see here on the 4 hours, we're already losing some of this MACD momentum, and the RSI is starting to lose momentum as well. So I'd be a little wary of this. Be a little cautious right here. Also, it would make sense if the price, I was talking to one of my partners yesterday, business partners, is that if it would make sense if we pull back down to make the right upside down head and shoulder. That would make more sense to me than just trying to just try to shoot to the sky and moon pump, right? You got to take some profit and establish this support line, retest this. So this is one bear scenario, right? Pull back down, make upside down head and shoulders, and then we might really rally to 50, 55, and 60, 65,000. But for now, we're just stuck right here. It is going to be interesting what the Asia session is going to be like in about 2 hours from now. So keep an eye out for that. But just realize that the 4 hour, if you understand the RSI for short-term trading, is in an overbought zone, losing momentum. We're not in the oversold zone anymore. Okay, moving into our 1 hour. Yes, there was MACD momentum building on the MACD histogram, so the price is going sideways, and then it finally popped up, probably because of 5 minute chart. But again, we are losing a little bit of power on this RSI. So we want to watch out for that. Bitcoin is going to continue to be volatile as the stock market's volatile. We'll go over that. But the two ranges, see if you keep zooming in, you don't even need that many indicators because you just play off the resistance zone, right? If you just drew this line, okay, 49,000, 50,000 is resistance, psychological. And where are the three levels playing? I got to zoom in for you guys. I'm talking about this resistance cluster, this one, and this one. And then we rejected down. Basically, we double topped here. Do you guys see that? We double topped on the 15 minutes. Also, there's head and shoulders on the RSI and losing the power on the MACD histogram. So there's three reasons why we're pulling back down right now. If you go in even to a 5 minute, and I could pull up EMAs if somebody wants EMAs, right? Yeah, we're pulling back down Our 5 minute is golden cross, that's fine. 15 minutes golden cross, okay. 1 hour's golden cross, and the 4 hours almost golden cross. So it would make sense to me over time in the next week if we pull back to retest the support to really, really double check and make sure, is this real? That would establish the upside down head and shoulders, and then we finally break out on this side like 2 weeks from now. That's just one scenario. We could just come down a little bit, find support, and keep rallying. Right? I've seen that happen before too. So that's kind of that analysis on Bitcoin. Okay, so we went long term, medium term, and short term on Bitcoin. The key is we need to see bull follow through volume. We need buyers to continue to buy every week. 1, 2, 3 days is not enough, right? That just brought us to the resistance zone, but we're stuck. You know what I mean? We're not rallying into infinity here. We're stuck. So just keep that in mind on Bitcoin. If anybody has any requests, go ahead and type it in the live chat. And we have to go talk about S&P 500 right now. So I talked like 15 minutes about Bitcoin. Okay, we have a request. GALA USDT. Let me just check which exchange has more data. It's like Poloniex. Binance, fine. All right, so looks like GALA is a relatively new coin listing on Binance International Exchange Crypto. On my chart, starts on September 13. Maybe it started earlier, but here's the thing with these types of coins. So if we really think about it, let's just flip back and forth to Bitcoin for a second. So let's see what the high was. September 16 on GALA was the high. Just mark it. And the relative low is September 28th, so 16 and 28 of the month. Let's go back. The 16th was here. Okay, so GALA did rally with Bitcoin, and the 28th was the bottom. So, and then it's up again. So I'm explaining that because GALA is very highly correlated with Bitcoin. Okay, so you want to be careful of that. Whatever I just said for Bitcoin applies to GALA and a lot of more than 50% of the altcoins that exist in the world. One thing we do have to realize is it's at resistance right now. And there's three supports. Resistance at 12 cents, support 10 cents, 9 cents, 8 cents, basically. And what kind of pattern is this? Well, on a daily, these are your larger. It could be viewed as ascending triangle, maybe. Right? There's not that much on this chart, so we have to zoom in a little bit. But again, the established pivot point support was here at September 28th, just like Bitcoin, right? So your really, really good levels of value were down here. Now, if there's going to be a breakout setup, it needs to break out, retest the support, maybe a couple times or just once, and just pummel through, destroy these upward resistances, 12, 13, 14, 15 cents, but it has to follow Bitcoin. One thing I will caution you is that as we see this blue circle rally, we are losing a little bit of momentum on the MACD and the RSI as well. We're losing that momentum. It is up crossed, but if Bitcoin pulls back, GALA will most likely pull back. Yep, 1 hour just starts down cross a little bit. We have a little bit of this momentum loss. It doesn't mean GALA is going to zero. It just means that if Bitcoin's going to pull back down, GALA will likely pull back down as well. All right, we have to talk about the S&P 500. So let's go to SPX. Okay, let me go ahead and erase everything, turn everything off. We're looking at S&P 500 right now. Even if you don't trade stocks or you don't care about stocks or you don't think about stocks, it is very important because Bitcoin has some connection still to stock market and Wall Street. So it's not like Bitcoin's in a different universe. Everything's still on Earth. You know what I mean? Bitcoin's one digital asset. Stocks are an asset. Bonds, gold, oil, they're just all global assets. So even before we do the TA on SPX, S&P 500, we have to realize that zoom way out. Okay, now we're looking at the pandemic from left to right. Over here was our pandemic start and our pandemic low. Okay, you have to realize that here, end of March, beginning of April, the Federal Reserve started their fiscal stimulus support plan. Okay, that's why we stopped crashing the market. I don't know if everybody knows that. Is the Federal Reserve in America, USA, said they're going to support the stock. They didn't say stock market, but the economy with billions and billions of dollars. And that's what they did. And so they stopped the bleeding, so to speak, in the economy. They put their emergency bandages of stimulus package. If you were in the USA, every single day almost, or every week, was stimulus support. Why are we? And then we rallied up for an entire 1.5 years almost, right? What happened now? Okay, so what happened now is a couple months ago, the Federal Reserve started hinting that they might be pulling back. They're going to start their tapering program of the stock market, which means they're going to support it less. So this is why we're selling off. And there's so many other bearish things happening right now. But we have to understand our big two, I'm going to call them like pivot point events, right? The Federal Reserve saves the stock market. The Federal Reserve says they're going to stop supporting the stock market and start the tapering plans starting November. That's 1 month from now. So if you're a hedge fund with millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, or an institution, right, you need a lot of time to sell your position and get out of those stocks. You cannot do it in 1 day. It's impossible, right? So whoever's shorting this and selling it, you bet there's a lot of institutions involved in that. Or like what happened with the super options trader on Friday, is this one person, whoever it was, put a $96 million put call option spread to protect his or her stock portfolio, and they bought insurance on their stock portfolio, $100 million. Institution, most likely, or hedge fund actually. So we have to remember, those are the kind of opponents we have in the market, right? It's not just red and green candles. There's real money flowing in the stock market and Bitcoin. So if we know that the Federal Reserve is going to start the tapering program and start weaning off, they said, Jerome Powell says he has his foot on the gas and the brakes. He has control over this. And it's going to be for the next 1 year. Is the downtrend could continue. All right. Now, I was looking at this earlier this morning, is how many times do we close below the orange line, 100 EMA, the 100 EMA, since the pandemic recovery? So I'm not counting this left side, all right? It's 1, 2 times, maybe 3 times if you kind of count this one, but not really. 2 times. So this is a significant event that we closed under here. Does this make sense to everybody? Right, we can recover from it because we made a double bottom here and then rallied, and that's fine. We broke resistance. Okay, so it's not the death of the stock market, but we have bears fully in control right now. Bears fully in control. So why am I saying this? Is we have to understand what's happening in the economy and stock market, and understand how that's going to trickle down effect to Bitcoin, oil, stocks, your investment portfolio, altcoins, Bitcoin. It's all related. So what's key for the S&P 500 is the facts. Fact is that we're in a short-term downtrend, daily downtrend. Okay, this is 100% confirmed. How do we know this? It's making lower lows and lower highs on the daily chart, or on whatever chart you're looking at, time frame. 4 hours, very clear. And we lost our 4-hour 200 EMA here. Like that. Also, like I was saying, on September 30th, we have our monthly and weekly closes. We're starting our monthly consolidation. I'm on a monthly chart now on the S&P 500. There's a lot of room for us to pull back. Negative 10%, maybe even negative 25% if it's extremely bad. right? People are for some super bearish people are forecasting 10, 20, just insane uh, crash numbers. But for me, just take it one day at a time, right? I understand it's possible. It's definitely possible because if COVID can crash us negative 34% on the S&P 500, then easily -5, -10%, -15% is in the cards if the tapering, if everyone starts getting afraid and just liquidates their investment portfolio because it keeps crashing every day. So monthly consolidation is starting, right? We need to realize that. Okay, now we're on a weekly chart. We just lost our 20 EMA on the weekly chart, one of our support levels here. It's still in an uptrend, yes, but even in COVID, it was still an uptrend. We didn't really die. The excuse me, my language, but I'm saying the uptrend didn't fail. I mean, I should say. So what's happening now is we've had these weekly pullbacks. It really feels like last year. It's a repeat of last year. Think about this. September and October did the same problem. We pulled back. But this time might be different because why? The fundamental tapering. The fundamental tapering. Right? If we lose the 20, then it is different this time. If we lose the 50, it's very different this time. Okay? So why am I saying this? Is because people are zoomed in on their 5-minute charts a little too much, right? They're obsessed with day trading or IPOs right now and getting super bullish, right? Is like, wait a second, everybody, wait a second. Our weekly and monthly charts are giving us some red flags right now, right? And people sensitive to the charts and who've been tracking this for a long time is if we do not hold above and break above this blue line and get back up here, we're in trouble on the S&P 500. So on our daily chart, our next levels of support to the downside, it might not get there, but would be, you could bring up a pivots, right? You could get these intermediate levels like a 4223, 4136. We are a little bit oversold on our 4 hour. What I was pointing out to my business partner yesterday was this could turn into a double upside down head and shoulders. So I'm not saying we're going to crash to zero. It's right here. We have this head and shoulders and we have upside down here. So it's double to me. So that could mean we might get a bounce up. That's what I said on my Discord. I said, it's one sentence. We're going to do support test first. What does that mean? You're going to test the support to the downside first, on the bottom first. That's exactly what happened. We didn't go up today. We went down today. And then what might happen is once we get oversold enough, crash down enough, and there's enough people, fear sell off, and there's enough people, and the shorts are saying, okay, we're getting a little bit too overextended to the downside. I'm going to close my position now. Is we're going to get another lower high bounce. That's later though. But again, if you live through the COVID-19 stock crash, you know that sometimes low RSI, oversold on purple, can fail. If you're an experienced trader, you know that is true, right? So you just be careful of that. Why am I spending so much time on this? It's because if we crash severely on S&P 500, like 80% of the market will crash down with it of stocks. So it will have some effect on Bitcoin. It'll cause volatility in Bitcoin. So it's going to be interesting if the stock market crashes, but everyone piles into Bitcoin and we rally, that'll cause that type of money flow volatility into Bitcoin and gold. All right. So talked a lot about it, but it's very important. Okay. We have to get our bearings straight. Just really quick, we'll do a Dow Jones and NASDAQ really fast. We'll look at gold. So our monthly, we are starting to see this monthly consolidation starting in September. Our weekly chart pulling back a little bit here, right? And you can already see here weekly since June and July, August, we were losing momentum on the MACD. So for like 4 months, 3 months, the charts were telling us we're going to have a problem someday. If you're sensitive to it. Okay. And the day chart, though, what's interesting is, yes, we're pulling back to a relative level of support. Dow Jones gratefully didn't crash that much because the crash was mainly ignited by Facebook. We do have this upside down head and shoulders on the RSI, so you might test it. This is a scenario that might happen on Dow Jones. You might test the support, which I said in my Discord, and then establish a lower high later. Then you have bounce later. But we need this fear and we need this bad news to pass. Because Evergrande in China is still like a problem. I don't think people, everyone forgot about it, but it's still a problem in Asia markets. If you just look every day at Asia markets, they're a problem. Okay, so NASDAQ was the big problem today. Let me go to IXIC. NASDAQ was a big problem today. Why? Because Facebook whistleblower news started yesterday on that 60 Minutes segment. Okay, the whole Facebook basically turned into a scandal, and there's two services went down. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp is down. Was down. People not liking that. Facebook was down. We look at it for a second. But this lower low, definitely in one day. So our monthly consolidation. Look how far we are from the moving averages, right? April 20 pandemic was our low, and we artificially inflated because of Federal Reserve. Look at this loss of momentum. It's been telling us for 3-4 months now, but the exact timing of it is never sure. But you know there might be a problem in the future. Pulling back, we lost to 20. Okay. All right. Now our next target down support is the 50 on the longer term chart. On the daily, our next target is the 200 EMA, or just that support we touched 14,141 today. And we are sold though. So that's the silver lining in all this crash news, is that someday we're going to find a very, very short-term bottom here on the price in these markets. The selling might stop eventually, and we might bounce up. Because even in the COVID crash, it didn't go straight down forever. Where is it? Here, right? You bounced. We bounced. There's a bounce attempt, fail. Crash, crash, crash. Bounce attempt, fail. Rejection. Bounce attempt, fail. Bounce attempt, fail. Bounce attempts, right? So it doesn't just go straight down like that. So if that's we're going to get a repeat of that, then it's going to downtrend. It's going to start doing that. Boom. Maybe crash down to a certain wherever it's going to crash down to here, and then bounce. Shorts are going to sell. Shorts are going to buy back. Longs are going to pile in. Then we're going to hit this resistance again and reject down if it's real. For this to get fixed, this problem to get fixed is we need to, just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like a leading indicator sometimes. We need to do a higher high, higher low, and get out of here like that. And then break all-time highs. But it's going to take some very, very powerful fundamental news to do that. Okay. Now that we did those big ideas, let's go to gold. Let's go to gold. So before I even look at daily, we got to go monthly. Understand where are we? Where are we right now? Because we just had that monthly close. So gold in a bull flag, monthly bull flag like this. Essentially going sideways. You could call it pennant or flag, whatever makes sense. In the weekly, we're stuck between these levels. Right? So gold in a medium term is stuck between 1834 and 1700. Let's keep zooming in. Daily. We're kind of losing power, but it's tightening. Right? So there's an even more intermediate pattern in here, just like that. So you see there's a triangle inside the triangle. Now, why did this level bounce right here? It's the fear, people buying gold for safety reasons. We had a little bit of momentum. Again, there is this a lot of upside down head and shoulders forming, but these could fail, right? It's just RSI, so it's not the actual price. The triangle. So the triangle is, so for technical analysis, you have to draw your patterns. Okay, so this is like fundamentals of technical analysis is support and resistance. Resistance meaning the ceiling, support meaning the floor. Triangles meaning these are your patterns that are measurable in technical analysis. And when it starts tightening, you get a support level, right? These are better areas of value to buy. So what you could do with patterns of all sorts, it could be a rectangle, and you might have to study this on your own, right? You get rectangles, you could get symmetrical triangles, ascending triangles, descent. That's not a good drawing. Descending triangles, but the fact is they're measurable on a chart. So 5% from a breakout spot in a bullish move, gold will bring us to 1848. That's our first bull target. 5% to the downside would bring us to loss of that support, 1655 down here. So it's tightening up, meaning that it's going to make a move at some point. If you want to confirm that, can bring up, sometimes you can bring up a Bollinger Band, right? To see it's tightening up a little bit. Consolidation, tightening up a little bit. Gold to make a move at some point. Right? So in the triangle, you have a trend line resistance and trend line support. So our trend line resistance is up here. Our trend line support is down here. So you just play those two levels and you watch that. Now, I'm sure most people want to know, okay, what's going to happen the next day or two. Well, understand that we're not oversold anymore. If you're looking at momentum-wise, we bounced off this pivot point. Okay, we had some momentum and we bounced up. Now we're at this resistance zone here, 1777, 1778. So, yes, but make sure, I mean, this for everybody. If somebody's new, um, I highly recommend, there's a lot of education on the front page of TradingView or Google. Okay, so XAU USD, right? We hit this pivot point right here and we bounce up to this resistance. Now we're forming another even smaller triangle within the triangle. We're on a H1 right now. Yes, we do have, if it is a double bottom support, great. Rallied up just like Bitcoin, okay? Find our high low, our higher high, great. So I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back to 1761 and then try to tighten up in this range. So we're playing between these two levels, 1776 and 1760. If the stock market keeps crashing, I would not be surprised if gold keeps rallying. The inverse correlation, the safety. Also, we did have another upside down head and shoulders on RSI, right? Double confirming the support level. So there's a lot of keys in here. But where are we right now? It really looks like Bitcoin. If you just flip back to the Bitcoin chart to now, is we had the rally down from wherever we were, right? Up, consolidation, pullback, rally, consolidation again. A little bit of loss of momentum. So I wouldn't be surprised. That's why I'm predicting that, forecasting it might come down short term and then bounce up. So that's gold. All right. So if anybody has any ticker requests, crypto or stock, our friends in Europe and Australia, it's either work time or late at night. So, all right, let's look at oil because this week, well, we just had I believe we had the OPEC meeting today and tomorrow. OPEC meeting, the big oil meeting. So, our oil price rallied. And again, you want to watch out for this type of stuff because you have to understand that oil crashed hard in 2020. Supply and demand problems. US oil. So if this kind of thing happens in stock market or crypto, is maybe you want to be cautious and not try to catch a falling knife, so to speak. That's the quote in the stock market industry. This is what a crash capitulation looks like. That every single long somebody tries to take eventually fails. Gap down. If somebody longs here, ooh, huge loss. Trying to long here, loss. Trying to long here, fake out, loss, right? So sometimes you just want to stay out of the market when it's crashing. But when it's rallying, it's a different story. When you get uptrends, all right, here we go. Uptrending. I remember I first bought oil somewhere right in this range. So, okay, here we go. Right, you see here, you just draw one line and you understand trend line support. You just draw one line and you have your targets. It works so well. You have one line on the bottom. You draw your trend line on the top. Now you have a target for the top side. TA. This is real technical analysis. Then You have a target on the top side. So what's the target? $60. Also, that's a gap fill on the left side. Okay, so this whole yellow box, boom, right here, gap fill. All right, and we know that we're having a global energy crisis with oil, natural gas, electricity prices. If you pay attention to the news, right, that's all happening right now. Prices are going to go up this winter. That's why natural gas and oil is rallying. Energy sector is rallying because the scarcity of the supply makes the price go up. People have demand, the price will go up when there's less of something. Just so that relates to Bitcoin as well, because Bitcoin, China banned Bitcoin, USA says we're not banning Bitcoin. So that makes Bitcoin more valuable. Therefore, the price will go up psychologically. So same thing with oil is if there's not enough oil, not enough natural gas, the bidding war begins. It's like an auction. And there's real technical setup too. Anybody who drew this line for 1 year straight knew, okay, if it ever comes down here, this is an interesting spot of value for US oil right here. Interesting spot of value. And then this is my resistance target up here. Longer term. It doesn't always hit it. It's the target. So 51.29 on the downside for support. Our immediate resistance is 55.15, and then our much higher resistance 57.90 up here. We are in this uptrend. There was another type of pattern here. It's kind of dirty, called a megaphone, but it is a consolidation to the side. And then we finally broke out above it, tested it like usual, and we're up fundamentals and technicals as well. But we don't want to get too overconfident. We are in that overbought zone, and we're starting to lose a little bit of momentum. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of pullback on oil coming up, because once you start seeing a larger move, we might lose momentum. Also, the OPEC meeting said they're going to increase production. I believe I saw that for 400,000 barrels. So they're increasing the supply. So if they're increasing the supply to meet the demand, the price might stabilize a little bit. Okay. So then natural gas, UNG, beautiful trade, beautiful setup. We found our longer term largest support here. Warren Buffett went long. I think he went long here somewhere. Sometime and maybe I think it was here, July, August, right? He went like I think he bought billions of dollars in natural gas. So that's another reason why some hedge fund, some institution, the composite operator is saying we are buying it right here, and that stops it in the market. Finding a strong level of support. Reversal trend line, the triangle again, boom, broken. And our rally continues, and we're having the global energy crisis right now. Now, we are hitting this resistance zone on the left side. We call it resistance cluster. So we just want to watch a little bit out for that on UNG. And we are having some momentum loss here. We're right into the resistance zone, double top in these two candles right here at the and psychological $20 resistance. So I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back a little bit on natural gas before rallying further, because this could just be some FOMO trade. Last minute FOMO traders trying to get in on some natural gas gains, right? Once you get overextended off the trend line like that, you hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. This is the last time, last month before it went real nice. Now you start going parabolic a little bit, just like Bitcoin. Once you go parabolic, there's a higher chance to pull back. 1882. So our 1882 is our support, our gap support on the bottom, resistance at 21. So just kind of want to watch out for natural gas. Although the shortage globally could keep pumping the price up. It's just looking at this today, there's some downside risk. It's still up trading though, so you're fine. Longer term, but want to watch out for that. Just be cautious, because if the entire stock market crashes, I'm talking Dow Jones, SPY, S&P 500, and Nasdaq, it's going to have a little bit of a volatile effect on Bitcoin and commodities and metals like gold and oil and natural gas. All right. So does anybody have any actual stock charts to look at? Any stock names um, or crypto names? Okay. You just type out a company name that's here on TradingView that you're interested in. Um, we need to talk about Facebook, because Facebook was the impetus for our NASDAQ pullback today down in the stock market. So Facebook. All right, Facebook's been having some problems ever since last month. Facebook has regulation problems all last year, and then um, C-suite executive problems, the algorithm problems, and then the whistleblower problem that just started last night on 60 Minutes TV show. Bad news, basically. And you have to realize the cascade of events that happen. So if traders are say, "Ooh, bad news," and pre-market, you see this gap here. Pre-market, right? 342, 338, pulling back from the close of yesterday. 4% down, not good for Facebook. But the cascade that happens is, okay, shorts are going to short the position down. So shorts are saying, okay, bad news, they're going to short. Anyone who went long here has got stopped out. So they got kicked out of their position if they had a stop loss somewhere in this zone. Let's see. Somebody went long here, right? 3%. Yeah, they got stopped out. If somebody tried to day trade that, they got stopped out. All right. So, and again, hedge funds, if they're trying to exit their position, they need a lot of time. They can't do it in one day. They can't unload $100 million, $50 million position in one day. It's impossible. They can't do it. So they need time. They need time to short it, let it bounce. Short it, let it bounce. Short it, let it bounce. So I'm expecting, maybe not on Facebook, but on the Nasdaq. That's why my Discord I was saying that lower low support test and then a lower high bounce after that test. This is a perfect example of what happened today is that fundamental bad news overrides technical chart patterns and setups in stock market and crypto as well. Fundamental news has a powerful effect. Also, we have this trend line over here on this right side. So, any experienced trader knows time to short that, time to short this thing. So just wanted to point that out here. Although but if somebody's holding Facebook, I don't want to make it too negative. So we are in the oversold territory. And if Facebook is able to overcome this challenge and become stronger and better and fix their problems on the other side of this, and assuming we don't crash in the S&P 500, Facebook might survive, right? But the problem with always buying a downtrend is it going to turn into a falling knife? Is it going to turn into COVID crash or US oil crash? Something to think about. Okay, ecstasy, XTZ. All right, Tezos. All right, so we've been tracking Tezos for a couple of weeks now on the stream. And one thing to note is the resistance zone on the top side. Resistance zone on the top side. What am I talking about right here? Right here. Your double top. Bearish signal. If you know your patterns, bearish signal. And I drew that there for next time saying this is our resistance zone. And we're inside of there right now. Literally pulling back. We try to push through it, hit $8.50, almost $9. We hit $9 and people are saying, oh, no. Too much. And they're pulling back. Also, you have this upper trend line here. This kind of got messed up. There we go. See that? When you draw a proper trend line, that's the target. And experienced bots, algorithms, and traders will say, we're going to touch that and I'm going to sell. I'm going to take my profit because they're going to buy from here to here. 40% for a swing trade is great. In crypto, 40%, you sell that. 50%, you sell that position. You get out of there. If you're a swing trader or day trader. So what we were saying is last time, like 2 weeks ago, is that we're making a series of higher highs. Watch the support level. We broke it, hit the resistance. Watch that. And then in my Discord, I said we might hit the higher low right on this day. I said it on this day exactly, September 30th, right there on the stream. So then, boom, higher high, higher low, and we went off just like Bitcoin here. But if you rewind this stream, Bitcoin might pull back. So then XTC might pull back as well to where? 726. That's our first line in the sand. 726. Great. Let's look at Amazon and Walmart as well. Um, so I would encourage you, whoever requested this, to Amir, to just keep an eye out on the Bitcoin price, that intraday price. And if it starts pulling back, then compare it to ecstasy and see, okay, is XTZ going to start pulling back? Because it is rounding topping right now. Rounding topping. See, that's losing that power, and this head and shoulders here. So I would not long this right now. This is not financial advice, but I'm just saying for my own self, I'm not going to long this right now. It's right at resistance, and you have bearish momentum literally pointing down. So XTC, you might want to watch out for that. It's not, it might not happen in one day, but I could. This is a short setup right here. Is you have a rounding top, head and shoulders, loss of momentum, and this thing can come down 10%, negative 10% if Bitcoin comes down. So watch out for that. It could keep going up, another month from now. But if you're looking at the next week or so, that's what it looks like on the chart. So just really, really watch Bitcoin. Okay, Amazon, Amazon, all right, Amazon. We have our longer term trend lines that we drew and they got broken. They got broken today. So our pivot point, so our resistance, support, we gap down to that previous support, rally to the gap fill, resistance, broke down. And now it's establishing our double bottom. Okay. So there's two scenarios. And then remember, we have earnings starting at the end of this month. This is all connected. If we're honest with ourselves, it's all connected. The stock market Federal Reserve tapering announcement. China Evergrande fears 2 weeks ago. US debt default fears last week and this week. Bearish news, right? Shorts are in control right now. Because if we're honest with ourselves, this is a daily downtrend. Attempted rally, but still downtrend. The only silver lining right here for Amazon for now is it's literally double bottomed on the price and found a support level here. But there's not really a clear daily candle reversal signal here. So our immediate support is 3,171 right on the downside right there. So if we want to get more clues, we lost the 200 EMA. That's bad. There is some oversold conditions. That's good. We zoom in. Okay, oversold. Okay, fine. But it's downtrending oversold. So when it's downtrending oversold, timing that bottom can be difficult, right? Because with the like if you look on the left side here, it's kind of hard to see. If you look at the left side here, right? How many times do we hit oversold? 7 times, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times here, and look at what happened to the price. So timing that bottom sometimes is very hard, but there is a potential bounce attempt. It's just a matter of, okay, if we do bounce, is it going to reject down and come down like this? Or if we do bounce, is it going to rally and are we going to survive the next couple months? That's looking at from a swing trade perspective. So yeah, bulls have to hold 3,180. If we don't, because look at this bear volume, very strong and powerful. Very strong and powerful. Last time what happened, we had this volume. It attempted rally. So shorts closing some of their positions, but then the shorts continued. Said nope. And one more time. And that happened for a whole month. So I would not be surprised if someday this week or this month is okay, we rally. But if shorts want to short it down, take control, then they just got to do that. So, when you're not in a clear uptrend, if somebody's a bull, this is much more risky because we don't know where the exact bottom is unless you're trying to, as an investor. If you're a swing trader, okay, I understand that because you're just trying to capture this one leg of the move. Or a day trader, you're just trying to catch options day trader, you're trying to just catch this one, 100, 200 points. So I hope that makes sense. If you're an investor, you kind of want to zoom out to the longer term. Is as an investor, there is some loss of momentum on the monthly chart, but that could take a year or two to play out. The weekly chart, we did just lose this trend line like I was saying. We are losing some momentum. It's a RSI reset. Okay. There's a weekly head and shoulders though. That's not this little purple thing down here. That's not good. And we just lost the short-term EMAs. To me, this whole consolidation that I saw on Amazon is a problem. Because if Amazon was truly bullish last year, this should have went up, but we went sideways. So there's another clue. There's an issue. The silver lining, if somebody's a bull, is we are in this oversold territory. So at some point this month, unless we have a massive crash in the market, we should bounce on Amazon. Probably before earnings, end of this month. So I'm expecting, long story short, I'm expecting a lower low and then a lower high bounce run into earnings. Okay, Walmart. Also, we have to just really keep that in mind. Our earnings period is going to start end of this month, um, in just like 2 or 3 weeks from now. So we just want to be a little bit cautious of that. So it looks like what it feels like to me on the charts is that the shorts are trying to attack the market and make as much money as possible, and then they're going to have to let go a little bit. So we might see just some heavy sell off for a while and then the bounce up. So they close before earnings because nobody wants to hold a short position through earnings or even a long position. It's too risky if you have a lot with a large position. All right, so Walmart. What we have to realize is uh, we just had our monthly close also on Walmart. So September was our double top. August, right there at dollar. Excuse me, at 150. So attempted rally at 150, 152, rejection down. If this monthly Walmart pattern plays out, this is a really bad case scenario for Walmart. Um, Bearish case is it could crash down to $100. In a worst case scenario, okay. More realistic though is shorter term targets. We just lost that trend line with the double top here. So there's double top and then we lost this trend line. That's not very good for Walmart. Again, the silver lining for a lot of stocks is okay, we lost a 200 EMA. It's happened before. It happened here in March. See, we crashed down significantly. And then this is what we want to watch out for in a lot of stocks and cryptos is once we downtrend like this, let me turn everything off. Once we downtrend, we have to watch out for trend reversals. Trend reversals. Right here, lower low, lower high, and then boom, right here's a trend reversal. So very sensitive trader would play this long right here or right here. So if you really, really look at this price on Walmart, it's downtrending for sure, definitely downtrending. What we will want to see as a Walmart bull is you want to repeat this, is find a bottom here. Ideally, maybe you have a hammer candle or something like that, reversal candle, and then rally like that, higher low into earnings. That's one scenario if it's going to play out exactly like 6 months ago. If not, you could just keep shorting and then one larger pop. Another way to draw it is you just put a trend line on the top side, just close it on the top. And then once it breaks that sideways trend line, which has a long way to go, then we might see some reversal for conservative trading. We did hit that oversold. So that is, again, a lot of stocks oversold today. The question, though, is how far down are we going to pull back in all these big names? That is the ultimate question. And again, here on the RSI, there's a real signal, reversal signal. There's a reversal signal on the MACD histogram as well. We're not seeing that yet. Okay, we might need this to play out another 2, 3, 4 days before we would want to see this, right? A finding of support on the RSI. And then we want to see a little bit larger, MACD momentum building on the cross of this. So it's just in the beginning stages. It's on the left side right here. It's like right here. So even if you don't use any indicators or technical analysis, You still need to check the price though, at least for technical analysis and volume, right? So I'm kind of waiting for where's our selling climax. We didn't have that yet. So once we have a selling climax, kind of like here, then it might be like, all right, Walmart might rally up. But keep in mind that zoom out to the larger picture, Dow Jones and S&P 500, and the tapering of the Federal Reserve is that the Federal Reserve is going to stop supporting the stock market economy over the next year with the fiscal stimulus. So they're slowly letting their foot off the gas and pumping money into bonds and such, which is artificially holding our stock market and USA economy up right now. They're slowly backing away from that. And so hedge funds are saying, oh, we need to get out of this now. So they're selling. They're selling, selling, selling. And shorts are saying, we need to make money. And longs are saying, either they get stopped out or, okay, I'm going to wait for a bottom. So that's the kind of situation we're in right now. I hope this makes sense. Is from my own experience, sometimes the first oversold is not the bottom because if you just look right here, that's not the bottom of the Walmart move. We want to see a stabilization of the RSI. And a lot of experienced traders, this is a pro tip from experienced traders, is to buy or not buy, but wait for the RSI to pop back up on the right side. Because that would mean it's done. Or at least it's making some momentum waves. Because if it's on the left side and it keeps crashing down, the price could keep crashing down like that. But if you see here, once it tries to poke out on the right side and pokes above the RSI, that might mean we're actually getting a bounce. But that's kind of a slower way to do it, technique and strategy for RSI for stocks. Works for crypto too. So I hope that makes sense. Um, Gotta watch out for this DJI. Going back to Dow Jones, it is nice. This double bottom I was hoping would survive. We still closed at a higher low on the Dow Jones today. And we have this upside down head and shoulders here, which is important to me. Says as a technical analyst, you have upside down head and shoulders and momentum building on the MACD histogram, and you have a double bottom here, and the price is still consolidating to the side. We didn't crash down below. Okay, these are all interesting signs. These are all good signs, but I'm not super bullish. I'm not hyped on the market right now because I know that the Federal Reserve fundamental tapering program will override any technicals setup. Meaning that if the Federal Reserve really every month starts buying less and less bonds, and then hedge funds are going to start selling more and more, you might see this happen again. The COVID crash problem is if we lose the 200 EMA, which has never happened this entire time since the reversal here in April 2020, one time here, right before elections in USA, okay, one time. So if we ever lose the red line here, the 200 EMA, which is usually our last line in the sand for bulls on a day chart, that would be bad. That's going to be bad. So I'm really, really watching the price here for the next couple months on Dow Jones. Also, you can just tell the angle for now is we're going up and now we're angling down. So we're getting a literal repeat of September and October 2020. So what was the magnitude of that move? 10% from top to bottom, negative 10%. So if we use that same measurement, negative 10% would bring us down below the 200 EMA to 32K. Right here, this gray line. People are going to panic when we lose this circle here. So let's just get our minds ready for that in the back of our minds. That if we do crash 10% from the top of here down to here, you're going to see CNBC people getting really scared, or Bloomberg, meaning that you're going to see a lot of red on the screens. But RTA here, we prepare for that. So if anybody went long in this zone here, okay, maybe have a stop loss or take profits, have your OCO orders or your stop loss ready to go. Fidelity National Information Services, FIS. FIS, okay. FIS, we'll start from long term to short term. So let's see, when was FIS? FIS IPO'd on 2001. It's a post, it's a after .com boom stock. All right, so we have a resistance here at 155. I'm on a monthly chart, very long term. And we have our support just right now at at 119. So this kind of reminds me of Amazon, this chart, is that you're rallying for 10 years, 13 years, and then you're consolidating kind of for the first time for the past 3 years. Very interesting on this chart. Okay, weekly chart. Weekly chart. We are holding this 200 EMA weekly. So the only time we held it again is the pandemic crash. If we lose this, probably bad news for FIS. But this is the first time we got weekly oversold. So we have to, for me, I try not to get too bearish or bullish. I just try to call out the charts as it is and try to have two scenarios. So let's think about the bear case first, the red case first, because we are pulling back down in the market, is that FIS has crashed down before. Like here's an example of what can happen if the stock market keeps crashing. Like we pull back, where is it? You pull back down here. Hope this all helps. Great. Excuse me. All right, so we pull back down here, right? You hit that first RSI, right? And this is what I'm saying. We might see a bounce, but if the shorts are going to attack again, shorts are going to crush. And then you'll get another low RSI, right? So that's why I don't only use the RSI, because I've learned from experience trading and investing that doesn't always work. So if this is going to be one of those really, really bearish case for FIS and the whole stock market, is we could pull back down here, try to have one bounce attempt. This will pull up, but if we pull back down again, it'll come back down like that. So I want to watch out for that at FIS. It's on the New York Stock Exchange. We did hit that oversold. Let's look at some data here. How much volume do we have? A decent amount of volume. Okay. The earnings on FIS. Oops. Let's see, earnings on November 2nd. So we would want to watch out for that FIS earnings report. And it is possible to reverse, right? It's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin and altcoins are connected. So FIS is inside the New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange index is connected to S&P 500. So and all the indexes. So if S&P bounces, let's say this week, most likely FIS might bounce a little bit too if it's just going to follow. And we can put the trend line above here just like that to box it in. I would box it in like that. So then any price move above of the trend line or below, it would be significant. You could also measure it if you want to. 1%, 2%, actually 1%, 4%. So it's 2% average. So if we break out from the top here, 125 is the first target, break down from the bottom, 2%, 118 to downside. So those are two targets before earnings. A lot of stocks are oversold. It's very interesting. It just really depends on how aggressive somebody is in their swing trading or investing or day trading. Because when the indexes start pulling back, there's less chance that any other stock is going to go up. Because the S&P 500 represents 80% of the entire USA stock market. So whatever the health of the S&P 500 is, equals 80% of the charts, stock charts. There's always that 10 or 20% that's going to do the opposite. For instance, let me finish this and I'll show you an example. So I would just watch those levels. FIS is also if they happen to have any good bullish or bearish news fundamentals that comes out. But this is not the strongest setup I've ever seen. But at some point, these shorts are going to have to stop. At some point, these shorts are going to have to stop. It's a matter of when, because this is already telling me, okay, there's reversal momentum building. There's pressure building underneath here right now in the price. At some point, it's going to pop. But timing that perfectly is the challenge. You have to really, really, really watch this every day, intraday, which most people don't want to do that. So for long term, I would just say just kind of watch for the longer term day chart. If this price starts to pop up above like 122, 124, that would be interesting for FIS. So one thing I would do point out is even in the COVID crash, I remember um, Kroger, the grocery store. So if you're on the West Coast, it's Ralph's. East Coast, it's Kroger grocery store. Kroger, if I remember correctly, actually went up. It had a lot of volatility, but it went up. Pretty amazing stuff, right? Like every other stock did this in the COVID crash, but Kroger went up. It's kind of ironic, but it's because Kroger it's the grocery store, right? It's a grocery store, so everyone's gonna need to buy their food and stuffs. Um, and so like Kroger was like some kind of monsters rally stock. It's just incredible to witness. Like, wait a second, this rally, and then yeah, we did have volatility, but this is an example of not every stock crashes when the S&P 500 crashes. That's what I'm saying. Just like Bitcoin. Just like Bitcoin. We'll look at another example. Bitcoin in the El Salvador crash news day, September 7th. Bitcoin crashed. Okay, right here. And I think the first one to bounce was like Algo, if I wasn't mistaken. So yeah, September 7th crash, and next day, boom, Algo's way up. Algo did not crash. So there's always 10 or 20% of stocks and crypto that um, rebounds very, very, very fast because that's basically what all the day traders, swing traders, they're hunting for the 10 or 20 stocks, the 10 or 20% of the stock or crypto market that's not crashing down, and they're trying to make money all the time. So, in summary, I know I talked a lot today, but in my opinion, it's actually important. Why are we talking about it so much? Is because we're in a daily downtrend on S&P 500. Bitcoin, we're on a daily rally attempt. So let me close out my the big picture ideas again. So S&P 500 we are in this daily downtrend for now. This is a reversal signal right here, textbook head and shoulders. Okay. So we knew this was going to happen. And lower low, lower highs. All right. So what's going to happen probably is we're going to try to find a lower low in this price somewhere down here. Our next line in the sand, 4257. Right there in the gray line. Next line in the sand, 4170. So somewhere here, we're going to find our lower low, and it's going to be a short-term bottom. This is one scenario. Assuming we're not going to crash hard down because of panic selling. We should find a temporary bottom here and then bounce up. That's what I mean in my Discord. That we're going to find support tests, which means you're going to test the downside first, and then lower high, which means you're going to bounce up and test a lower high resistance next. Usually that's what happens in the markets with downtrend, unless something bad happens. So that's S&P, USA stock market. Bitcoin, let's finish up here. Bitcoin we were in this downtrend. You see that? We were in a downtrend. But then on September 30, right on this exact day, I was saying we established our higher low. Boom, right there. Support. Higher low. Fundamental news pump. Hype. Boom, rally. Up to our resistance point now. Resistance here. So there's two scenarios that can happen here because of this particular setup. Is because we're still in a golden cross. All right. At a certain point, we might actually pull back to retest the EMA support. You guys see that here? These lines up here are our support lines, moving averages. So then we might try to test that. And it'll also create, like I was saying earlier, we could create an upside down head and shoulders. That would be a reversal signal. You measure that to the neckline. That would be 20% from 48,000. That would bring us back to almost $60,000 Bitcoin in 3 months from now, if that pattern plays out. If it does not, if it does not, and we just forget all about that, then we might get rejected at the upper 50,000s here somewhere, and then pull back, and we could consolidate like this, or we could pull back like that, or just try to retest. If we fail, then retest 40,000. There's so many things that can happen. But Bitcoin, because we still have a golden cross and we crossed up a double bottom off support, it seems more likely we're going to test it one more time and try to rally up. Either way, rally up or test it and rally. So hopefully that makes sense for everybody in S&P 500 and Bitcoin. We talked a lot today, but doing this kind of technical analysis, long-term, medium-term, short-term, now you have some general sense of how to get prepared mentally for stock market and crypto market moves. This is my style, and it's worked for me. Keep me surviving and thriving in both markets, and keep my mind at ease. Right? There's no fear needed, no FOMO needed, because you have to get ahead of these setups. Get ahead of these setups. So where would be another interesting spot of value? Again, this is not financial advice, but an interesting spot for education. The first spot could be, if we use the upside down head and shoulders method scenario, somewhere in 45,000, might be just 45,000 even, with a anywhere between 3 to 6% stop loss on the bottom. And then if you really believe in it, you could put your target at 20%. So you could have like 5 to 10% stop loss on that with a small amount of capital, medium-sized capital. That's swing trading right there. You put that trade on, you believe in the chart patterns, you set your stop loss on your Binance or on a crypto exchange, and you let go. That's swing trading. If you're a day trader, it's different. You have to really make sure you're buying at relatively low levels of support, so maybe a little bit more down from here, and tight stop losses, just a couple percent only, and you try to do that, like a 2 to 1 or something. That's day trading. We're trying to scalp like a 5 minute or something, 15 minute. This is day tradable right here from 8 a.m. my time to lunchtime. This is a easy 3% for somebody who is really sensitive to a 15-minute chart, saying, whoa, support. Experienced day traders will automatically buy that. 1% stop loss, 2% target. You actually hit 4%, and then sold off on this double top. So just a little bit of risk management education at the end here. All right, so unless anybody has any very last minute requests, I just want to say thanks so much for everyone for watching and joining. I'm streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch right now. I also have a free Discord group where I type up a weekly watch list every Sunday, and so I just called out the moves in 5 lines of text. For example, where's my watch list? I'm saying support test, Dow Jones, SPY support test, NASDAQ support test, Bitcoin resistance test, and what might happen next after that. Then economic data, we have OPEC meetings, oil, manufacturing data, unemployment data this week, crude oil inventories, unemployment claims, unemployment rate. That's what's happening this week. Then a couple weeks from now, we're starting stock earnings. It's big events that's happening. Starting our Q3 earnings. All right, looks like nobody has requests, so I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you everybody for watching. And if you want to join the free Discord, the links are in my social media profile. I'm trying to focus more on longer term trading and investing to reduce the FOMO in people, because I realize that if I post all of my day trades, then people are going to try to chase that and FOMO it. Or if I try to analyze a 1 minute, 5 minute on Bitcoin, is people are going to lose the big picture. So that's why I focus more on longer term charts for everybody. All right, thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a nice week, and I'll see you on the next stream. Bye bye.